In this video, I'll show you something that's fairly difficult, and that is how the subjunctive mood is used in a noun clause. Words such as demand, insist, recommend, suggest, or ask are used when a person wants something to happen, something important. Following these verbs, you might have a noun clause that's in the subjunctive mood. The noun clause will begin with that. And then you have a subject, and then the verb will be in the simple form. So as I mentioned, that the noun clause will begin with the word that, and then we have the subject he, and then the main verb do, that he do that. So normally we add es with do once the subject is he, but in subjunctive mood we don't do that. For example, I demanded that they return my money. Here is the beginning of the noun clause, right from this to this. That they return my money. I demanded that they return my money. So as I mentioned that from the word that we begin the noun clause. So this is the noun clause. I demanded that they return my money. You don't have to use that, but I think in this it's a good idea. We may skip this word that, but we should use, we can use, or we may use that. Here is the subject they, and here is the verb return. This is the verb, this is the main verb, that they return my money. This is in the subjunctive mood. This verb is in the subjunctive mood. It's in the simple form. It's not the present tense form. Rather, it's the simple form of the verb. Use the simple form for the verb in the noun clause. If you change the subject, let's change it to he. I demanded that he. Now the subject is changed from subject they to he. So if we change the subject from they to he, what will happen? I demanded that he return my money. Notice that this return, this verb return, remains without s. We don't add s. Normally in present tense we do add s with this verb. But notice that this return doesn't change. They return, he return. So this is the subjunctive mood. It is still in the simple form. You don't use an s here. You don't use an s. Rather, we are not going to use the word returns. This is not recommended. Just he return. So I demanded that he return my money. Now let's see another example. The doctor suggested that I lose some weight. Here is a kind of a recommendation or a demand. So this suggestion is actually a demand or some sort of a recommendation. The doctor suggested. So this particular part is recommending something. And here is the subjunctive mood, that I lose some weight. This is in the simple form, lose. The verb is in simple form. If we change the subject to he, from this, if we put he, there will be no change in the simple form of the verb. If we change the subject to he, or it may be she, this lose remains the same. We don't add s at the end of this word. The doctor suggested that she lose some weight, or the doctor suggested that he lose some weight. It sounds a little unusual because this is the simple form, lose. It's not the present tense form. You might expect the verb to look like this, but this is not recommended. This is not the case. We don't use this sort of verb, whatever the subject of the subjunctive mood is. Now take this sentence, I recommend it. In this sentence, subject is I, recommend is verb, and it is object over here. Here, as I mentioned, that this is subject, this is verb, and then it over here, the word it is object. You can replace the object with a noun clause. We can replace it with some noun clause like this. I recommend that you go there. So in place of it, we can add this clause that is functioning as an object, and that's why it is called a noun clause. These both are noun clauses. So as I mentioned that you can replace the object it with the noun clause that you go there or that he go there. This is in the subjunctive mood. This is in the subjunctive mood. Here begins the noun clause right from that towards the end. I recommend that you go there, or I recommend that he go there. Both of these after that is noun clauses. The verb go is in the simple form. We may notice this. The verb go is in the simple form. If the subject change you to he, this go remains same. This go remains in the simple form. I recommend that he go there. I recommend that he go there. It sounds a little unusual, but it's correct. Most people do it instinctively. They say it and they are not sure why. They're not sure why. They put the verb in this form, means go. But it's something that you'll often hear in English. The teacher asked that you be on time. Here the verb be is in the subjunctive mood. The verb be is in the subjunctive mood. Here it's a little bit more obvious that you are using the simple form be. It doesn't matter what the subject is. We can change it to he, we can change you to he quite easily, or we can change it to we, or we can change this subject to they, whatever you want. We can put and replace this subject you by he, we, they, etc. The teacher asks that he be on time. The teacher asks us to be on time. This is also a good structure. In any of these situations, you are still using the verb in the simple form. Notice that the subjunctive is not always necessary after a verb like ask or recommend or demand. You can simply use an object pronoun. For example, the teacher asked us. We can use this object over here. Object pronoun. The teacher asked us to be on time. As I mentioned, in any of these situations, you are still using the verb in the simple form. Notice that this first sentence is in the subjunctive mood, but this one is not in the subjunctive mood. That subjunctive is not always necessary after a verb like ask or demand or recommend. You can simply use an object pronoun like us over here, as I mentioned earlier, or object noun like the teacher asked them, the teacher asked the people, the teacher asked the students. So noun or pronoun can be put over here, but this is not in subjunctive mood. This sentence is a simple sentence. You can simply use this sort of object pronoun and then infinitive to be. This is the infinitive to be. The teacher asked us to be on time. The teacher asked that we be on time. The teacher asked that we be on time. This is another structure. Or the teacher asked us to be on time. Either one of these is fine. This one and this one, both of them, they are fine. Using the subjunctive, does sound a little bit more formal, and it does represent a higher level of skills when you are speaking English. Using a negative verb, I insist that you not do that, or I demand that you not do that, or I ask that you not do that. In all these cases, we can see that insist, demand, and ask are the verbs which are being used. This can apply to many different situations. Here the verb is in the simple form, do. This is the verb in all these three situations. Here the verb is in the simple form. The subjunctive mood is also used after adjectives. It's important, or it's necessary, or it's mandatory that we finish. So this is again the subjunctive mood like that. It's important that we finish. Here the verb finish is in the simple form, and this is the subjunctive mood. If you want to make it negative, it's necessary that we not be late. So just after this, we have to put not. It's necessary, and then this is that we be late is the affirmative sentence, and we have to put not just after we or the subject. This is the subject over here. It's necessary that we not be late. When there is a military conflict, you will hear a sentence like this: it's crucial that they agree. So this is also in subjunctive mood, and this is the simple form of a verb. and then it's important that they be informed. This is also, it's important that they, and then this is the simple form of verb, they be informed. This is also in subjunctive mood. But remember one thing, that after that we have to have a clause in order to make it a noun clause. It should be a noun clause. Only then it will be a subjunctive mood once we are using a noun clause after that. So in all these situations, the words like demand, insist, recommend, suggest or ask followed by a noun clause actually are good examples of subjunctive mood using noun clause.